All right. This episode that hi, my name is Anthony, and this is my first episode on YouTube. I was planning on this being a lot more jovial, funny, entertaining, but it's now become a serious matter that is getting out of control. Obviously. Um, for 23 years, I've studied world events. I've studied them back and forth, lining them up with ancient patterns in history. And we are in the midst of a very life changing pattern, specifically in the United States. I think you guys can understand. Let's do a little review, okay? So, at the beginning of the year in 2020, we had the World War III, right? World War III with Iran. We're going to go to war with Iran. And that didn't happen, thankfully, right? Right after that, we had the Trump impeachment with Ukraine. And then that lasted for like half a month or about a month or so. And then we started hearing about the COVID-19, right? And now COVID-19 is like something like what happened, right? Like not a lot of people are really concerned about that right now. And then we had now we have the riots. And it looks like we're heading an American Civil War. We're in a cycle, guys. We're in a cycle in ancient history where I wish I forget the name of it. Oh my gosh! But there's a book. I think it's something. There's a book out there, and it talks about how there are certain cycles in in history. You know, sometimes they overlap. Sometimes they come together. And the guy, I think he wrote it like 3 or 4 years ago, and he said, we're coming up on a cycle where they all overlap together. Okay, the cycle of civil war, the cycle of earthquakes, volcanoes, World War, you name it, like the plagues, things of that nature, right? We also have something else, guys. If you're not prepared for this mentally, I hope you take this serious and prepare your mind mentally for what's going to come. Okay, I think that's my overall number one concern for people who don't understand that the COVID-19. If you're afraid of the COVID-19, you're going to be really afraid of the things that are coming. Okay, you need to change your mind shift if you haven't already. You need to understand that this is no longer the world and country that you grew up in, right? I used to joke that at the beginning of this, I have like different threads in my phone from different friends, families, and friends, families, coworkers, stuff like that. And I told them at the beginning, watch the Hunger Games. You females, put your best Katniss Everdeen on and get ready. I was half joking. But you see now, I'm not really joking anymore, okay? This situation is getting worse. They're deploying, martial law. I mean, maybe martial law has already been installed. I don't know. Depending on where you live, you are more susceptible or more. You're either more susceptible to violence based on where you live, or you're safer, right? Depending on where you live. But as this continues to grow, there I was just looking there at some. I know New York is like super chaotic, right? And you need to develop a plan. You really do. You need to develop a plan of escape. You need to talk to your children about the possibilities of, if you need to leave or defend yourself, whatever. If you're arguing with somebody right now, this is not the good time to argue. If you have infighting in your family, friends, whatever, you should make peace very quick. Okay? This is not the time to fight. I don't know what spiritual path you're on, but as for me, I'm in a good place myself, where I need to be at. And that's a key thing right now, It's a real key thing right now. Your spiritual, where you're at, because if you're right with him, you're gonna, it's gonna help you think more clearly. Okay. And I'm just asking that you really understand the severity of the situation, In when I first started warning people about the COVID-19, I didn't care about the virus. I cared about the reaction of the people, because I knew that is more dangerous than a virus, the reaction. How would people react to lockdowns? How would they react to, this? And I did predict riots. I did not predict race riots, but I did predict riots. Okay. And I did, in an email I sent out, I told people, hey, this is the plan. If you need to, go somewhere, you should coordinate, even with me. I'll help you out. But I have to tell you guys, this is, this is a lot more serious than the COVID-19. And the reason why is because this could go full out civil war. Okay. It could really escalate to that situation. How would it look, man? I don't know. That I don't know. But it's either it's like there's three groups, right? There's three groups. There's the regular protesters, which I am in favor of regular protesting. Of course, the death of this black man is terrible, But how does looting, how does hurting people, how does kicking somebody in the head who's defenseless, how does that equate to protesting? It doesn't, and everybody knows that. And so you have, regular protesters who are trying to make change. That's good. And then you have a second tier, which is people who are just out there to cause havoc and steal and loot and, create damage and, beat up old ladies and their husbands. If you saw that video, they were beating up this old lady for defending her store of fire. She sold like fireman stuff. That's the second tier. You just have criminals. And then you have the third tier, which is the antagonist. These individuals who are going around putting large structures of bricks in opportune places where they can be thrown, or, people going around providing bricks in cars, and giving them out to people. Those are the agitators, whether they be Antifa or whatever, I don't know. Okay. But they're there. And they're there to cause mayhem. They are the match that is responsible for keeping this thing going. Okay. And so our nation is at a tipping point right now. I'm going to give you a clue about what could be next as well. I want you to think of this, okay? I'm very good at looking at patterns and seeing things. Now, let me ask you, you know that we've been in hot water with China lately. If our country continues to spiral down this situation, and our enemies are looking at us like, they got their hands busy. What do you think they would do when we are fighting amongst ourselves? You ever seen Red Dawn? It's exactly what they would do. If they see a country torn, a country that has been so prideful and arrogant, and we are fighting amongst each other, they will lick their chops and say, ripe for the picking. Sorry, my phone is, I don't know, my phone, there must be some sort of malfunction because I keep getting emergency signals and it's just almost nonstop, like once every minute. It's very annoying. Anyhow, this time is almost up. I'm going to keep my videos at 15 minutes. And I just want to welcome you guys to my new YouTube channel, calling it King B Productions, something like that behind it. And I originally was going to start with the story of how, why it's called King B Productions. But to be honest with you, this is superseded, and I feel terrible that I'm starting off my YouTube channel with a dire warning, and that is to prepare yourselves, prepare your hearts, prepare your mind, prepare physically, especially mentally. These world patterns are only going to increase. I hope we come out of this unscathed. Well, we're not going to come out of unscathed. We're already unscathed, by the way. But I hope that we come out of this on the other side of it without a full-blown civil war. That's my prayer, my hope. With the COVID-19, it's probably like a big false alarm, right? I know a lot of people died. I'm not saying it was fake. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying it was overblown. What do you want to call it? The whole thing was overblown. That's what I'm trying to say. They were saying millions of people and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, it didn't pan out that way. In fact, 68% of people got infected were quarantined. So there you go, right? Anyways, I'm going to move on. I'm going to be doing 3 episodes today, each one about 15 minutes. I think the next one I'm going to do a little bit more, So basically my channel is a compilation. People have told me to put together some of my stories and tell them, because they're really, a lot of them are inspirational. They give you hope. They give you, insight. Sometimes I'll be talking about like spiritual stuff. Sometimes I will share a story related to world events. I mean, it really depends. It really depends how I want to present things. And this first one, it's a warning to get ready. Okay, get your mind ready, because what we're about to undergo is going to be very, very trying. These are just the beginnings. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you, and you guys have a great day.